Hey guys, it's Assad. Today I'm going to do my first deck review, and to kick off my deck review series I'm going to do my absolute favorite deck. Up to this point, out of all of the decks that I've tried, this has been my favorite. And it's the Bicycle Dragonbacks. And I just went to Target a few hours ago, and they had this whole stack of them there, which was great. So that's definitely a big plus. You don't have to go online and pay for shipping and handling and wait for the decks to arrive. You can just go to your local Target. I'm assuming most Targets carry them. The one that I live next to does. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it. And, well, I guess first you can take a look at the box. It's a pretty cool design. I'm not gonna go through and tell you what everything on the box says. I don't think that's interesting at all. But, let me just open it real quick. I hope this doesn't take too long. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna take a leave off here. Okay, so this is a brand new pack, and I actually have an older pack that I've been using for about, I want to say like a month and a half, maybe even 2 months, and this has had some pretty heavy use. So I'm going to compare the new deck to the feel and everything to the used deck in a second. But first, let's just go through and talk about the general characteristics of the deck. Okay, so when you open the deck up, it comes with, just an ad card, whatever, guarantee joker, and then the standard joker it comes with actually has a little bit of color to it, which is kind of cool. And it also comes with a double backer, and there's a few applications for that, so that's kind of cool to have. And I'll go through and just talk about the faces now. So I've pulled out 2 cards from a standard Bicycle deck, and let's compare them to the Dragonback cards. So you'll notice that the reds are darker. It's more of a maroon on the Dragonback, and then the court cards are also different. The reds are darker. All of the blue is replaced with green. Is that the only difference? Oh, and the yellow is replaced with gold. So it's just got a little different look to it. And everything else about the faces is the same. It's got the same ace of spades as as a standard Bicycle. Now the interesting part is the back, and look at that. It's a really good looking back. I think what sets it apart from other decks is just look how much color is on that thing. You got red, you got black, green, and yellow or gold. So that's a lot of color for a back. If you look at most other decks, it'll just be one color. It'll be red or blue or be green, but you'll never have more than one of those colors. So it's really cool how they're able to get all these colors on one back and still make it look simple and elegant. So I really love this back design. I think that's one of the strongest things it has going for it. It's just a really good look. My biggest complaint about the standard Bicycle deck is the back design. I don't know if it's because I've been looking at it for too long, but I really don't like the standard Bicycle back design. I try to avoid it at all costs. So so this is a good escape from that. And so this is a brand new deck. I just opened it, and I'm gonna maybe just play with the cards for a few minutes here, and then I'll come back and give you an overall sense of the handling. Okay. Okay, the first thing I notice is that these cards are definitely more flexible than your standard bikes, even though that they're the same finish, they're that air cushion finish. When you open up a new pack of standard bikes, you'll notice that they have that stiffness to them. They're kind of difficult to riffle shuffle, and especially springing is tough on the new deck of standard bikes. But these cards are just really easy to bend. and springing just feels awesome on these. It's just effortless, really. And the same goes for riffle shuffling. So that's a big plus for me. I love that they're kind of a softer, more flexible stock. And you know, I've noticed a lot of people tend to prefer thicker and stiffer cards. I think there's this idea that those cards will last a lot longer, which may be true, but I have an older pack of Dragonbacks, and I've been using these ones for, you know, probably close to 2 months now, and it's been pretty hard use. You know, I put these in my pocket. I, you know, don't wash my hands before using them all the time. They've gone through a lot of use, and they are holding up great. So I'll just bring these out in a second after I finish talking about the new deck, and I'll show you what this deck will look like after quite a bit of use. But they start out with really great spreads. They're super smooth. You know, I can't think of a negative thing to say about these right now. The two main things I look at when I'm using a new deck is aesthetics, so back design, face design. The faces are usually the same on all cards, so you know that's not a big issue, but the back design is a big one for me. I love this back design, so it gets a plus in that department. And then the second thing I look at is the feel. How well does it spread? You know, how well can I do, you know, the various moves that I do? And this deck scores big points in both of those departments. So straight out of the box, they feel great. Let's talk about what this deck will look like after a while. So I'm going to put these away and bust this deck out. And like I said before, I haven't taken the best care of these cards, but they are still good. Still super flexible, of course. They're not going to get stiffer over time. They still spring great. In terms of smoothness, they're very smooth. I can still fan just fine with them. You know, the edges are a bit dirty, but of course that's to be expected. You know, the deck has really aged well. I haven't really noticed any unusual, how do you say, you know how sometimes the deck will get a click in it over time. I never had any issue with that. And I think as long as I take care of these cards from now on, they're going to go on. So I guess the main point I'm trying to say is, just because these cards are more flexible to begin with, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to last as long as your standard bike. If you don't do anything crazy with them, they're going to last a long time. And it's just a great deck to have. Okay, so I really hope this deck review was helpful. If you have any questions regarding this deck, or if you have any recommendations for future decks you would like me to review, just let me know and I'll do that. Yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care. Alright, one last thing is, I have an extra Dragonback deck that's still sealed, and I'm going to ship this deck out to somebody who lives in the US. Sorry, I can't ship internationally at this point. It's kind of difficult for me. But in the future, I do plan on shipping internationally. For this one, it's going to have to be somebody in the US though. So if you want to have a chance at winning this deck, all you have to do is comment on this video, give it a thumbs up, favorite it, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you've done those things, you're just going to be thrown into a hat, and I'm going to choose somebody at random to win this deck. So good luck and good night. Bye.